Have you ever been learning a new skill or developing an old one and you seem to just hit a wall? Maybe you're trying to change a habit or you're just feeling limited. You might be interested in the story of a young actor a little over 100 years ago in Australia. Hello, my name is Kip Rican. I am a professional violist, and for years I have been studying the Alexander technique, a method for improving coordination and embodied thoughtfulness. On this channel, I hope to share what I've learned and what I continue to learn about this method I find so helpful. So please subscribe to follow along. In 1892, a precocious 23-year-old from a small town in Tasmania, off the coast of Australia, was making his living performing Shakespearean monologues in front of large audiences in large halls with no mics or amplification because it was 1892. When F.M. Alexander's voice started getting hoarse, and his doctor's advice didn't seem to help, he needed to find something that would. Young Alexander began experimenting with a method developed decades earlier by a Frenchman named Francois Delsarte, who had also lost his voice. This method involved studiously spending hours in front of a large mirror every day, studying and practicing the prescribed exercises, which involved thoughts and movement, and these were designed to help actors with self-expression. After a while of doing this, F.M. began to uncover this tendency he had to pull his head back and down and thus shorten his neck. This tendency seemed to affect his breathing and his vocal functioning and also be related to this hoarseness. But thankfully, he had found the problem, so he just stopped doing it and lived happily ever after. Right? No, because just like with this wall you hit when trying to learn a new skill, he found that he could only affect it to a certain degree. This habit of pulling his head back and down seemed to be quite persistent, and actually he observed also present in others. He realized that as soon as he started talking again, he reverted back to this habit. He seemed to have no ability to intervene as soon as the movement began or as soon as he started thinking about it. It was like there was this weird thing happening where his mind wasn't able to talk to his body. Alexander realized that perhaps there was something more subtle going on, starting with accepting how he might be influencing and creating habits in himself in a way that he hadn't realized. So what is now known as the Alexander technique, I believe, began right here, with this opportunity that Alexander saw to charm what you might refer to as the mind-body, or just the self. Now I say charm because there's often a lot of resistance, and I think it requires playfulness and patience. It's not one in a day, and the aid of a teacher is invaluable, just like with learning a new language or learning an instrument or learning to dance. What is this process? Well, stay tuned for next week when I share from my perspective something that may give you a glimpse into what Alexander began doing and teaching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please subscribe to follow along, share if you find it helpful, and be well.